What's up, Fackers? We are back with our top 101 fantasy football players for the 2020 season. We are up to number 94 on the countdown. That is wide receiver for the Houston Texans, Brandin Cooks. Brandin Cooks is our 40th ranked wide receiver. Last year, he finished as wide receiver 62 for the Los Angeles Rams. He had 42 catches for 583 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also added 6 carries for 52 yards. He scored 97.5 points, which came out to an average of 7 points per game. So not too hot for Brandin Cooks last year. Okay, so a few points on him real quick. As we know, he was traded to the Texans a few weeks ago. And this actually helped his ranking because the Texans don't have as many high caliber options as the Rams did. We knew in LA he was competing
Yeah,
with
they did.
huh?
Oh, it was just a joke. We did have a high caliber receiver.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. We know they had Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods who were higher on the chart than he was, but down here he might be top dog with Will Fuller, and we know how Will Fuller goes. But getting to that point, Brandin Cooks has had the health issue last year, been dealing with concussions. So we know that those concussions can pile up. You get too many of them, they make you quit football. So hopefully he'll stop getting his concussions. And he only had 583 yards last year, but the 4 previous seasons before that. So that was with the Rams, the Patriots, and the Saints. He had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Okay, so this is a guy that is capable of putting up big numbers. It's just, is he going to stay healthy?
Yeah, basically you can put him and Will Fuller in a bag, flip a coin, walk under a ladder. I don't know where I was going with it, but just pull one of them out. One of them is probably going to get hurt. So
Break some glass.
is this one of those receivers you handcuff, as some people like to do in our league? Probably not. You don't want to handcuff receivers, but
I I guess I see your point. If you get Fuller and Cooks, I guess you potentially have a number one in Houston, but
yeah.
is that going to be worth anything?
Okay, so the Fuller injury question, I feel like it's pretty legit. Like, he's actually had major injuries like ACLs, stuff like that. Okay, Cooks, prior to last season when the concussions popped, when he had, what did he have, 2 concussions last year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least
Other than
two.
that, he has not gotten hurt and he has not missed a game in his career.
Yeah,
All right, so we're talking about
he
a
has
guy.
been very solid.
Yeah,
He had 1,000 receiving yards each of his first 3 seasons before that last one with the Rams, and he's only 26.
4
I
straight
mean,
1,000-yard receivers.
thought it was 3. I will
Um,
challenge you on that one.
well, I did my research before this, so I'm gonna stick with my 4 that I wrote down. But what I'm
Oh,
getting at is
you're
that
right. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. 4.
I'll
it's all
clip
right,
that.
bro. Yeah. What I'm getting at though is that concussions, like, I feel like they're just kind of fluke things. Okay, it's not like an injury history leads to concussions. It's just the way you get hit, stuff like that. They're unlucky. Whereas other guys with injury issues, I mean, those definitely pile up, ACL injuries, stuff like that. So I think the health is a little overstated for Brandin Cooks.
He's a smaller guy though.
It's just it's recency bias too because it happened last year. You know what I'm saying? If this would have happened 2 years ago and he would have had an okay season last year, I don't think people would be as scared. It does worry me a little bit, but for it's built into the price you're gonna have to pay for. So you're not having to draft him a lot earlier. You can get him later, especially if you go running back heavy in the draft. You might take him just as off chance to be a number one, and he's
Right. This is a late round guy that has the potential to do some damage this year with Deshaun Watson, who is going to air the ball out.
yes.
So who are those? We talked about it a couple days ago, trying to figure out where we put Brandin Cooks, and we were discussing between him. I think it was Christian Kirk, and it was 2 other
Well,
guys.
not to spoil the next
Oh yeah.
5
Oh.
guys on our rankings list, but
But let's do it
basically,
anyways.
if you this is called a tease, Matt. If you want to find out what receivers we have ranked just ahead of Brandin Cooks, you get back on and you watch the next 4 videos because there's a group of 5 receivers here that were all pretty close. Me and Matt were discussing how to order them, and we kind of agreed that we liked the upside of some of the other guys better than Brandin Cooks, so we just kept Brandin Cooks here at number 94 overall.
Yeah. It was
There's a
mostly due
little
to Will
group here where
Fuller.
they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, it's mostly due to Will Fuller still being here. And I think we already agreed in a previous video that we all like Will Fuller more than we like Brandin Cooks. But I think Cooks does have that upside.
Right. He's still a very good receiver. Stays healthy. He's going to be running deep routes. Has the potential for big touchdowns. I mean, I like the ceiling here for Brandin Cooks.
Yes.
Could be a high-powered offense for the Texans this coming season.
I was just thinking, we've never really seen this because in the past, we've only ever had Will Fuller as like a speed guy on the outside. And we've seen it with play. For some reason, the offense goes to shit, right? Even with Hopkins, it was not pretty. So now they've kind of said, well, instead of just relying on one speed guy, let's make them all speed guys. And then that way we at least have one or two of them available every game. So that's what the Texans are kind of doing here with Cooks and Fuller and Kenny Stills. And I don't know if you can still call Randall Cobb a speed guy, but he used to be a speed.
No, not at all.
Kiki Cutie, if he ever plays, he's a bad practicer. So
don't forget about David Johnson in the backfield too.
David Johnson, I mean,
yeah, we don't.
It has the. I don't want to jinx it, but it has the potential to be a high-powered offense. Now, the only problem there is what?
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien's calling these plays, so let's not get too excited.
You just mentioned a problem with the Texans.
Guys, like the potential's there.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about a tight end taking any targets away either, because we don't use tight ends. So
that's true.
They don't really exist unless we're like on the 2-yard line.
Right. And you still, like you still got Deshaun Watson back there, elite option for fantasy and borderline elite in football in general. So,
yeah, just like I've said before, when we argued about how high Will Fuller should be, the Texans don't have Deshaun Watson to not just go out there and throw the ball over 30 times a game. Like, he's gonna throw the ball.
That's true.
And they should have an improved.
Guys,
they should have an improved O-line this season too to actually protect him. Titus Howard will be back, and you still got Laramie Tunstall back there. So
just lock down Tunsil, all those other young guys for one more year in the system. So,
yep, looks to be good. High upside guy.
But
wow, that was way too much positivity about the Houston Texans.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That bubble's gonna burst, but until then, I like the potential.
Yeah,
that's true.
I've talked myself out. God, when
No,
that trade
you're
first went
being
down,
home.
look, when the trade went down, obviously you trade a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who not only is your best offensive player, but maybe the best receiver in the entire NFL. When you trade him for peanuts, then obviously the reaction is going to be upset. But the more, once we got Cooks, got these other pieces, the more I look at it, the offense could be better. In fact, it should be better.
This isn't Ryan. This is Bill O'Brien's burner account talking.
It should be better.
The offense, yes, but I mean, keep in mind we are discussing Brandin Cooks, so
right, and I'm saying he could play a big part in that offense being better.
Maybe, yeah. You're being very optimistic.
This is the deepest the Texans receiving core has ever been.
And also the most injury prone.
The problem is that in the past, where it wasn't very deep, we had the best guy in the league and then a bunch of shit. Now we have more like this.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys like it. So it's going to be interesting to see it play out.
Will be.
Anything else on Brandin?
No, just stay tuned for the other receivers who we have him kind of compared to, and maybe we'll talk about why we picked him after, or I guess before or after them. So,
yeah.
All right, so just to wrap it up, Brandin Cooks is our 40th ranked wide receiver and our 94 overall player for the 2020 fantasy football season. We out.
We out.
Fact you later.
I think you already used that one.